What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Appreciate Greatness. Today, I'm going to be doing my NBA draft grades. I'm a day late, but I hope y'all don't mind. So let's just hop right in. I'm going ABC order by city or like state name. So Hawks are up first, then Celtics, and then y'all get the gist. So we just gonna hop right in. And the Atlanta Hawks, I gave a C plus two. Zachary Sachet at one, I gave a C two, and then Nikola Jurisic at 42, I gave a B plus two. I feel like they settled instead of taking control and saying, "Hey, we have the number one overall pick in this draft." Although it's a weak draft at the top of the class, which it is. It's a weaker class draft class at the top of the class, but they still, it feels like, didn't take control and say, "Hey, we have whatever option we want is open right now," and they just kind of settled for Zachary Risache, which I like Risache. He's a solid player. It's just I don't think he's the number one draft pick in this class. Actually, I have him 15 on my big board. So, Jurisic though, decent upside guy. He's got good playmaking skills. I think they might draft and stash him. Not completely sure on that, but he on Twitter he got some Paul George comparisons. I see the comparisons. I see kind of that mold, but he's not gonna end up anywhere near like Paul George is. The Boston Celtics, I gave an A to. Baylor Shireman at 30, A plus. He's the exact type of like driving kick guy that the Celtics like. He can absolutely knock down the three, but he has the ability to put the ball on the ground. He's an excellent rebounder, especially for his height. This is a guy who is going to fit perfectly with what the Celtics want. And then Anton Watson at 54, I give a B plus to. He's not a great shooter, but he's an all-around great defender, and he's an older guy who can probably step in and help win immediately. The Brooklyn Nets I give an F2 because when you don't have picks and you just traded away your star player or your best player, that's an F. The Charlotte Hornets I give a C minus 2. They went to John Salon 6. I give that pick a D plus. I'm all for getting your guy. I've said this a whole bunch. Like I don't believe in reaches, but I do believe in trading back at least a pick when you were getting calls for a guy that you definitely weren't going to draft because you knew. I think we all knew Portland wanted Donovan Clingan. So you can just make that trade and get something, even if it's something slight, at least from Portland. But instead they stick at 6. I give that a D plus. I just don't understand it. And even if it's not a pick, you could go 3 or 4 picks back and still get some value and still get to John Salon. KJ Simpson at 42 though I give a B minus. I like the player. I don't like the fit. You already have Trey Mann, who I kind of see KJ Simpson as, but Trey Mann's taller. So the Chicago Bulls, I gave an A minus to because I just believe you need to trade for some sort of draft capital if you're the Bulls. I think you have some guys that you could dish off and get some sort of draft capital for. Not even the top level guys like Levine, DeRozan, Vooch, but they went Matas at 11. Modis at 11. I give that an A. Keeping the Chicago kid in town has a great track record for them. He's a good guy to try and develop, especially alongside Josh Giddey. I think that's a pretty perfect fit for him. The Cavs, I give an A to. Jalen Tyson at 20 is an A. They get their guy. He's versatile. He's a great 3-level scorer, and he can be the Cavs' Karis LeVert or even a solid 3-man for them to starting games as. The Mavs, I give an A to. Melvin Ajinça at 51 is an A plus. I'm very high on him. He's a DJJ type player. I think he could fit Derrick Jones Jr. roles perfect. He's a nice fit alongside Luka. Can really shoot. A better shooter than DJJ for sure. Not as great of a defender, but I think he's got potential to really be a great fit for that role, and even maybe one day start alongside Luka. Beautiful, beautiful left-handed jumper. The Denver Nuggets, I gave a B to. Day'Ron Holmes at 22, I give a B to. I don't understand too much the plan with him, right? I don't understand what they're going to use him for, but that's been the Nuggets' pick this whole draft process. That's who they wanted, and so they got their hands on him. I think that's a plus. I think that's going to be great for them because if that's your guy, then you see something in him, and so I gave it a B. But I would probably, if he wasn't rumored to the Nuggets, I would probably give it a C plus, but I give it a B because that's their guy. The Pistons, I gave a B plus too. Ron Holland at 5 and Bobby Klintman at 37. I think they could have gotten a better fit than Ron Holland. I gave that pick a B plus. He can't shoot, but you brought in a shooting coach in Fred Vinson, one of the best, if not the best, in the NBA, and that's what he's there for. And obviously, Ron Holland's an incredible athlete, and you already have 4 or 5 incredible athletes on your roster. So adding another who, plus your shooting coach, that can't hurt. And then Bobby Klintman, projected first round pick early in the season, and I think he can turn into a versatile 3-and-D guy, especially if, like I said, Fred Vinson gets a hold of him. I could see this being a really good pick and fit for the Detroit Pistons. The Golden State Warriors, I gave a B plus to. It feels like they could have been aggressive to get some more picks, but that's not really the situation they're in. Quentin Post at 52 is an A. He's a 7-footer, just a quality pick. 7-footer with a beautiful jump shot. I think he shot 40% in his past 2 years from 3 at Boston College. I love the pick. I love the fit. The Houston Rockets, I give an A minus to. Reed Sheppard at 3 is an A. Them only having one pick kind of knocks him down a little bit, but he's a great all-around player. Can defend, can block shots, gets a lot of steals. Obviously, he's only 6'2", but he's a 42-inch vert, and he's the best shooter I've ever evaluated, and he's the best shooter in this class for sure. And I believe that his secondary playmaking right now can develop into becoming a great playmaker and replace Fred VanVleet when FVV's contract is up. The Indiana Pacers, I gave an A plus to. They traded their first for Pascal, and it ended up being number 19. And then you go and you get 3 second-round picks. Johnny Furphy at 35, first-round projecting guy. Can shoot, can defend, lengthy guy. I give that pick an A+. Tristan Newton at 49, I give an A+. He was the leader of that UConn team who won a championship this year. He's just a guy who can score when he needs to. He sets up the offense. He can really play make. And then I had him as, after I redid my big board, I think from what y'all saw on the mock, or the big board I had on my mock draft video, I redid it, and he moved closer and closer to that first round pick every time I redid it. And then Enrique Freeman out of Akron, I gave him a B plus at 50. I think they got him right where he was supposed to go, and I'm high on him. I really liked him as a prospect. Now I could have seen him falling out of the draft, but when you're 10 picks away from doing that anyway, that's expected. The Los Angeles Clippers, I give a C. I was expecting some sort of move, and you draft Cam Christie, the pick I give a C to. He's a solid player. He can really shoot. He doesn't provide much more, which is why I just had to stick it a C. So I have this thing on my tongue. It's not even like a sore or like a bruise or anything. It feels like a cut, but when I look at my tongue, there's nothing there, and it hurts really bad. So I'm sorry if I'm slurring words or if my speech doesn't sound perfect. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Thank you so much for dealing with it, but I just wanted to give y'all the reason for why if something sounds off. So the Los Angeles Lakers, A-, I gave them. Don't Connect at 17, that's an A+. So he fell right into their hands. They didn't mess up. They got a great player who can play day one. I mean, he's a great shooter, can just score. He just scores. That's what he does. And then you get Bronny James at 55. I give that a B. Now, Bronny's solid. Obviously, the connection with LeBron James, not even a connection, he's the son. It's a good chance. He's got a chance to be good. Obviously, it's the father factor, but why not draft a guy like Trey Alexander or Isaiah Crawford and then sign Bronny? That's kind of what I didn't understand, because you knew, there's 3 picks left. No one's drafting. They're not drafting Bronny. He's gonna be a UDFA, and then it's Bronny and Rich Paul's choice, and Rich Paul obviously is gonna want him to be signed to the Lakers. So that was my thought process. Now we get to a really just up in the air one. Memphis Grizzlies, I give a C- to. Zach Edey at 9, I give a D+. This could blow up in my face because I see the vision. I don't like the pick. I'm not high on Edey. He's slower than what Rudy Gobert is, and obviously I think Rudy Gobert is pretty good as a perimeter defender. And he's so slow. He got taken advantage of a lot in college. I can't imagine NBA athletes attacking him. I think he has better touch on offense than a guy like Rudy Gobert. Obviously, he scored 25 plus points. He's a good rebounder. I don't think he's a great interior defender in my eyes. He's a good positional defender. He's where he needs to be, but he doesn't guard perimeter well. He doesn't really block shots other than just kind of standing there and swatting them. So I gave it a D+. Jalen Wells, 39, awesome story. He's a good player. I give that pick a B. Cam Spencer at 53, I give an A-. He's a winner. He's a scrappy guy. He's a low floor guy who I really like to pick. I enjoyed watching him at UConn. He's just a guy who is a winner, and obviously he got the scrappy, which is the whole white stereotype. But the Miami Heat I actually didn't grade, but I'll grade it right now. I gave Kel'el Ware pick an A, which was at 15, I believe. High upside center, all the raw talent in the world. There's a bug that just flew in my face. He's got all the raw talent in the world. I think he's drafted the perfect place. You get bigs with raw talent all the time, James Wiseman type guys all the time. And for the Heat to get their hands on one of those guys, we saw it with Bam, now we're going to see it with Kel'el Ware. I think this is a great fit. And so I gave that pick an A. And then Pelle Larsson, B-. I think it was like 52, maybe a little earlier than that. He can really shoot, but, I think that's really it. And Miami has a history with these type of guys. That's why I gave it a B-. So I'd give their draft I'll give it an A-. The Milwaukee Bucks, I gave a D- to. This is a team whose window is closing, I feel like. And they got guys who's going to take a few years to develop if they ever do. A.J. Johnson at 23, I give a D. High upside pick, but he will take time to develop. He's 6'4", 167. Great athlete. Solid basketball feel, but I think you could have gotten him at 33 and took someone else at 23. Then Tyler Smith at 33, I gave a B to. He can really play offense. He doesn't provide too much defensively. He's a potential Bobby Portis replacement in 1 to 2 years. I really loved Furphy for them, and they had 2 chances to draft him. They didn't. That's why I gave their draft a D-. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I gave an A+, because Rob Dillingham at 8. They traded 2 firsts for it, and it's a Mike Conley replacement, essentially. You can have him on the bench for a year, and then he's ready. He's already offensively ready, in my opinion, for the NBA. Defensively, it's a problem, but when you get drafted to the best defensive team in the NBA, you have Gobert behind you, you have Cat behind you, you have Ant and Jaden McDaniels on the court at the same time as you. It's a perfect fit for Rob Dillingham, and even the Spurs was a perfect fit for Rob Dillingham. And then you get Terrence Shannon Jr. at 27. I give an A- to that pick. He's a great talent. He went through a lot in his last year at Illinois. I think he missed 6 games, and it was just kind of from then on, like, he got hit with I think he was only 3rd team All-American this year, which is so BS. He was the 1st team lock by far. He was that good. He's super fast. He's gonna play a great piece off the bench for them, and he's gonna be a fun spark plug for them. The New Orleans Pelicans, I gave an A to. Yves Missi, who I've been pronouncing his name wrong. I've been pronouncing it like Vess, which I believe that's how you pronounce it. Vess Pawn's name. So, that's a mistake on my part. I apologize. Yves Missi at 21, I give an A to. He was a lottery pick in my eyes. I saw him going to one of the Thunder, who was right after them, Kings, or whoever was right after them, even 14. I can't remember. But that's who I had my eyes on for him. So I had him pretty much a lock for a lottery pick. He's an awesome big man. He can put the ball on the ground. He's strong. He can rebound. He can block shots. Really good athlete. And then Antonio Reeves at 47, I gave an A to that pick as well. So all A's across the board for the Pelicans. He was a reliable guy for Kentucky for a while. I think 3 years, I believe he was on that Kentucky team. He was their leading scorer this year, even with Rob, Reed, Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner, all type of talent on that team. He was their leading scorer, and so a really reliable guy for Kentucky throughout his 4 years, or 3 years for them. So the Knicks, Pacome Dadier at 25, I would probably give a B+ to. I'm very high on him. I don't know if 25 was really where I expect him to go. I expect him to go mid-40s probably, mid-second round. But he's 6'9", got a really good jumper, can really shoot. Tyler Kolek at 34, I'd probably just give a solid B to it. Reliable guard, a good playmaker, can learn from Jalen Brunson, who's also a lefty. Then you get Kevin McCullough at 56, A+. He's a great do-it-all wing. He's an older guy, can shoot, can rebound, can playmake, can defend, do whatever you need to win. That's what Kevin McCullough brings. He got hurt this year. Might have tanked his draft stock. I wouldn't have been surprised if this guy was a first-round pick. I think early in the year even, he had lottery projections in some mock drafts. So great pick for them. And then Ariel Hukporti, high upside rim protector. That's really what he is. At 58, I gave it an A. So I would say Knicks draft, A minus, B plus, one of those two. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I give an A plus too. Sam Presti does it again. Nikola Topic at 12, I give that pick an A. He got injured a couple of times over the season, tore his ACL, but he was a top 3 pick before the injuries. And he proved that he could shoot the ball a little at least, to where when guys went under screens on the pick and roll, he made them pay. He shot, and they fell sometimes. And he's an incredible finisher. Not a great defender. That'll probably have to come with time. But you get another guy, if you're the Thunder, who you can develop, and you can, just let him get with, I forget their shooting coach's name, let him get with him. He's really good. And just develop over time. Obviously, he's not going to be able to move laterally at all, because that's what ACLs do. You can move forward and backward. You can't really move laterally. So I think he's going to come out shooting it well. Good playmaker in the half court and full court. Great finisher. Got a bit of a burst. So I like Nikola Topic at 12. Really good quality pick. Dylan Jones at 26 was a guy, I think I had 19 on my big board. I give that an A. He's a big guard. He can rebound. 6'6", with 6'11" wingspan, 235 pounds. I think he averaged 20 and 10 this year. There was a game I was watching. It was a late game. I can't remember who they were playing, but he willed them to win. He had like 33, 21, and 9 this year. An incredible player out of Weber State. And then A.J. Mitchell at 38, A+. This is a guy who potentially, to me, could have gone lottery, potentially teens draft pick. He's that prototypical driving kick guard, can shoot the ball, shot 39% on low volume from 3, but he's great mid-range shooter, great driver, great passer on the driving kick, and that's exactly what the Thunder are, a driving kick team. The Orlando Magic, I gave a B+ to. Tristan Silva pick, B+ at 18. It's a typical Magic pick. 3-and-D wing, reminds me a lot of Franz Wagner. B+. I really like Tristan Silva. The Philadelphia 76ers, Jared McCain at 16, I gave an A, and Adem Bona at 41, I gave an A. So therefore, that adds up to an A+ for them. Perfect fit in Philly is Jared McCain. He can really shoot, good secondary playmaker alongside Tyrese Maxey. And then Adem Bona at 41, he's a high-energy guy. He doesn't take a play off, doesn't have a lot of raw talent, and doesn't really finish well, doesn't really catch the ball all that well, but he has a high motor, and I'm very high on him being a surefire NBA guy just because of that motor and the high effort plays we see out of him. All right, the Phoenix Suns I gave an A to. Ryan Dunn at 28 is an A-. He's the best defender we've seen in the draft in quite some time. He's a mixture to me on defense of Herb Jones and Andre Roberson, who, Roberson was a better shot blocker in my opinion, on the perimeter, lockdown guy. Herb, obviously the long wingspan, and that's what Ryan Dunn has, and so blocks shots inside better. But sadly, that kind of goes for offense too. Dunn struggles offensively. If they can develop him into any type of threat, even a great cutter, I think Ryan Dunn's going to be an incredible NBA player. And then Oso Ighodaro at 40, I give an A to. He's an offensive engine. He's really good in the pick and roll, the short roll, the dribble handoff, whatever you really need him to do offensively, he can do it. He's a great lob threat and a really good defender, good rim protector. Probably a 4-man. Has signs of maybe stretching the floor one day. And then the Trailblazers, I gave an A+ to. Donovan Clingan falling to you at 7, A+. Also trading for Denny for I think 14 in 2029, I give that an A+ too. Sacramento Kings, I gave it B+ to, but the Devin Carter pick at 13, I give an A to. He's an incredible all-around player. He's a great athlete, blocks shots well for a guard, gets steals. I think he averaged about 3 stocks per game at Providence this year. Great rebounder, really good wingspan at 6'9", 6'2" guard. They trade Davion for him. He's kind of what I think they thought they were getting out of Davion. He is that. But the reason I give it a B+ is because Sacramento needs wings. That's not a hidden secret. They just need wings, and obviously you draft another guard. But I really like the fit, so I would even probably say A- to A even. though I give him a B+. The San Antonio Spurs. Stephon Castle at 4, I give an A. This is another team I forgot to put the grade by him. Stephon Castle at 4, I give an A. He's a great defender. He showed some playmaking flashes, showed the ability to pass the ball really well and get his teammates involved. In high school, he was a much better shooter than he showed in college, so that's promising to me. He's a winner, and he's a very Spursy player, I would say. Juan Nunez at 36, another Spursy player. I give that pick a C+, though. I like his pick and roll. I like his pick and roll game, his manipulation in the PNR, but I just don't know where his value lies. Like that's it. I don't see any other strong suit of Juan Nunez. And then Harrison Ingram at 48, I give a B+ to another very Spursy guy. I was expecting Harrison Ingram to get called late in the first round. I was thinking the Celtics would pick him. They went Baylor Shireman, which is a better pick, obviously. He's gonna be a great role player. I don't see any way around that. He can shoot from any spot. If he gets the ball late in the shot clock, he can create a little bit. Great in the post, actually, for a guy who's about 6'8", 6'9", really good rebounder, and a guy, again, who I thought could slide into the back of the first round. I forgot to grade them. The Spurs, I will give that draft I'll give it an A-. The Toronto Raptors, another team I forgot to grade, and I also forgot to grade all of their picks. So Jacoby Walter at 19, he's an unconscious scorer when he gets hot, man. I think he'll be a high-value six-man, could sneak into a starting role somewhere, kind of like a Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton. Those two guys being on the same team was an accident, but kind of like that type of build, a guy who can just score. So I'd give that pick at 19. I'd give that a B+. Jonathan Mobo out of San Francisco, high upside. He's a project. High upside project, can really dribble, can rebound. He plays taller than, I believe he's 6'6" or 6'8", one of the two. I have it in my head, but I can't really remember the number. But he plays taller than that. He plays about 6'10", 6'11". I love him. I would say A for that pick. And then Jamal Shead at 45, A+. Steady point guard. He's a steady point guard off the bench for them. Can defend, can shoot, can play make. Whatever you need him to do, he'll do. He's going to make an immediate impact. I'd give this draft for Toronto, I'd give it an A. The Utah Jazz, I gave an A+. Cody Williams at 10 is a B+. He's a very versatile guy, can play make, can rebound, can defend. Whatever you need him to do, he'll do, like I said about Jamal Shead. Shot the three, very low volume, but pretty well, especially before his injury. Before his injury, he was a much better player than after. So that's something that I would say take lightly his last half of the season. Isaiah Collier at 29, A+. This is an incredible player, great finisher, good playmaker, needs to limit the turnovers, needs to lock in more defensively, but this is an awesome player who, I knew he was going to fall, and I personally knew he was going to fall. I think I had him 18 or so. I think I had him 17 maybe, even to the Lakers on one of my mocks. 29, that's incredible value. And then Kyle Filipowski at 32, A-. That's incredible value again. Can dribble, shoot, pass, rebound. Really skilled 7-footer. Defense needs to improve. It has improved over time at Duke in the 2 years. From freshman to sophomore year, improved. I do worry about the family stuff, though. Obviously, he got through Duke with it, so maybe my concern shouldn't lie there, but I have some worries. The Washington Wizards, A+, my draft winners. Alex Sarr at 2, A+. Awesome that he fell. I'm glad they didn't, say, hey, we need to have that backup in case, we don't have Alex Sarr on the board. We want Donovan Clingan. Well, I'm glad they didn't fall too far in love with Donovan Clingan, selected him, and then Sarr continued to fall. They didn't. They loved him. They didn't get enamored anywhere else. Stayed at Sarr at 2. Bub Carrington at 14, I gave an A+ to. I'm really high on him. He's got James Harden, kind of is a good comp for him. I thought of it last night at about 3 a.m. actually. The playmaking is kind of similar. It's driving kick type playmaking, not really going to set up the offense, but great ISO scorer, great rebounder. I'm high on Bub Carrington. Then Keyshawn George at 27, I gave an A to. 6'7" wing with playmaking abilities who can really, really shoot. And that's it for the actual draft grades. All right, so that was my draft grades video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. Shout out Max A. Smith. Got the Oral Roberts jersey here. Bought it 2 or 3 years ago, right after they made the run. As you can see, Oral Roberts, A. Smith's number 3. Love Max A. Smith. But I hope y'all loved this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe. It went on a little longer than I thought, but hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.